Choose life, choose a career, choose N2O2G, never talk to game. Welcome back, guys. We're now into Season 4 of Warzone, and things have been quite interesting, one would say. We had two new guns, the C58, Nail Gun. Did I say two? I should say three, shouldn't I? Nail Gun, C58, and MG82. Pretty much all three guns. The C58 is probably going to be the replacement for the AMAX. We've got the MG82. Oh my god, that gun is OP. That gun is the meta. That's the medium to long range meta. And then we have the Nail Gun, which is our close to medium range meta. So that's enough chat about this. Let's go and check out our top 5 loadouts that we guys should be using in Warzone right now to get the best wins and the most insane kills that one can get. And trust me, with these loadouts, you will be getting kills upon kills and wins upon wins. So let's dive in and check it out, shall we now? So guys, first of all, we're going to be checking out Project X. What is Project X, you ask me? Well, that's basically my OP guns. You don't always get OP guns. Sometimes it's nicely paired out, but sometimes some guns stand above everything else. And these are the only guns that you're going to be using. So until those nerfs, these guns are going to be shredded. So first of all, we have the Nail Gun. That is insanely good at close to medium range. This gun absolutely shreds in terms of TTK from like 0 to like 17, 20 meters. It's insane. It has a 20 round clip, so that is an impact. So this pretty much would be a fantastic gun for running on solo and duos. Trust me. Check it out, try it out and see what you think. And then we rock this with the MG82, best medium to long range gun there is. No recoil, super fast TK, and this damage profile is insane. So in terms of attachments, we're rocking the agency suppressor. That's for the sound suppression, the vertical recoil control, the bullet velocity, and effective damage. They're all massive pros. The only con is aim stability. This gun has hardly no aim stability issues, and the aim down sight speed. But we're not using this as a runner gunner. This is basically a gun that we're going to be posting up and then aiming down sight, so we don't need the fast ADS on this gun. The barrel wise, we go with the task force. This also helps massively with recoil control. As you can see, the horizontal and vertical is massively affected. Bullet velocity and effective damage range. The issues we have with this hip fire exceed, but we're not worried because we ain't be hip firing with this gun. Sprinting move speed, the ADS speed, and aim walking movement speed. So these are quite a lot of cons, but for this type of gun, this kind of build, we're not worried about those at all. The optic, we shove the axle 3 times on. The rear grip, we shove the airborne elastic wrap, which gives us the ADS, flinch resistance, which are two very key things, and aim stability, which basically means that we have 0 aim stability. This aim stability is fantastic, it's perfect. This does affect our sprint to fire, fire movement speed, and the ADS fire movement speed, but we're not worried about those. This is a great attachment to have. And then we shove the field agent grip basically for that horizontal and vertical recoil control, which basically is why this gun has no recoil at all. And however, if you do find that you are finding the recoil super easy to control and making lots of hits, kills, you might want to drop out the field agent grip and then shove on something like the Raider stock. It gives you a little bit more mobility with this gun, that sprint to fire speed, which helps, and movement and aiming down sights with the gun as well. So that's something you might think about using. I like to stick with my field agent grip, and I find I'm getting a lot of kills with this gun, even though the mobility is slow. That's why I rock it with an SMG and assault rifle, or in this case, the Nail Gun. I rock this with the EOD Overkill Amped and Semtex and Hub. This is pretty much my go-to, what I use for every single first loadout I pick up. So now let's go into our first place. First place, we have the Cold War MP5 gun with the MG82. The MP5 Cold War gun is a beast. It's damn good. Guys, the TTK is fantastic. It moves around very quickly. I think it's only built in terms of speed against it would be the MAC-10. That's the only gun that is faster of moving around Warzone than this gun. But this gun is what a lot of the pros are using, and this is pretty much the kind of setup that you'll see that everyone will be using in Warzone. So we rock this with the sound suppressor for that sprint to fire speed help. I run auto tactical sprints, so that for me, sound suppressor is more key than having the agency suppressor, which affects my ADS, and also I like having my sprint to fire speed, so I can get this gun out super quick. And you want to be engaging those other people as quick as possible, so those hits, those bullets make a count. You want to be getting those fast TKs, and that's why this gun has an insane TTK from 0 to literally 10 meters. So we rock this with no barrel. We go with the Tiger Team Spotlight for that movement speed and aim walking movement speed as a pro. The Cruiser Grip for the movement speed and the hip fire accuracy. So it's increasing the speed of this gun and help us hit fire accuracy. The 50 round mag, which affects our ADS. And then the radar stock for that ADS fire movement speed, the aim walking movement speed, and sprint to fire speed again. And this affects our hip fire accuracy. All in all, this is a great setup for this gun. Check it out, try it out, let me know what you think. Drop a comment if you think I should change anything or what you guys are using. But definitely check it out. Then we rock this with the MG82. We use this with the agency suppressor for that sound suppression, the vertical recoil control, the bullet damage, and the effective damage range. The only issue we get with this is the ADS and the aiming stability. The task force barrels for all of the cons and the pros. The cons we're not worried about. The actual free times, the field entry grip, and the airborne elastic grip. I'm not going to go into this each time because this MG82 is pretty much the best gun there is out there for medium long range engagement. And this is why it features heavily in literally all of my 4 top loadouts as well as the Project X. Next up we have the Mac 10. So if you're struggling with the MP5 Cold War, the Mac 10 is a great go-to gun. It moves around very quick, it's very easy, it has no recoil control, no recoil at all. So definitely try it out. I love the sound suppressor, the task force barrel, the Tiger Team Spotlight, the radar stock, and the 50 round drum. This gun is awesome. This gun is another one you'll be seeing a lot of the pros be rocking probably pretty much this gun, the XM4 or the MP5 Cold War. So that's why these 3 in the top 3 are pretty much what the pros are using for their wagers and tournaments out there at the moment until the MG82 gets nerfed. So if they're using it, guys, you got to be using it. There's a reason why everyone's using it, because these guns are the dog's bollocks, as one would say. So in third place, we have the XM4. This gun is geared up as an SMG. I love this gun. It's very much fun to play with. I rock it with the sound suppressor once again for that sprint to fire speed, which is what I'm looking for. I don't rock a barrel because this has a great profile, damage profile, and a very good range already by itself. I shove the Tiger Team to give me that more movement speed and aim walking movement speed. I don't like the iron sights on this. Trust me, I don't like them. You might. I find them very blocky and in the way, and I think they're rubbish. So I have to have a Microflex LED on this. It makes it very clean cut. It's only 1.25 zoom. It's very good. Use it, check it out, see what you like. If you do find that you like the iron sights, then you can remove this. You can have something like the airborne elastic wrap, serpent grip, or if you want, you can then shove on the task force barrel, which also helps with your horizontal and vertical recontrol, but does affect your sprinting movement speed and your aim movement speed. So things to think about there. And then I shove the radar pad for that sprint to fire time again, and the 45 round mag, which you might want to shove on 60 round mag. It all depends on how you're playing. I like this setup. I think it does justice and it's pretty good. And then we rock this once again with the MG82 with the same attachments that we have on pretty much the MG82, and as you see, it's same perks, lethals and tacticals that I rock. So in fourth place, we're going to have the shotgun. Used to be the street sweeper until that got a massive nerf, and now the Gallo has stepped up a gear and taken over that place. So we rock the agency choke, 21.4 reinforced barrel for that effective damage range and fire rate, the SOF target designator that gives us effective damage range and hit fire rate, and the only con is the flashlight visible to enemies. The marathon stock for that sprint to fire again, because we know this is an issue with this gun, and the aim walking movement speed and ADS firing movement speed, and then the 12 round drum. So this is pretty damn good. Rock this again with the MG82, same setup as we see, and the same perks. However, I do like to use a throwing knife on this one, and also on the Mac 10. I like to conserve my ammos, whereas the others I tend to use Semtex, as one can see. And for the Project X, in theory on this one should be rocking a throwing knife as well with the nail gun, because you don't want to be wasting your bullets. So that's my 1 to 4. And in fifth place, slight difference. We've got to have the car in here. Car or the Swiss. You have to have the car. Hey man, if you love sniping, these are the guns you've got to be using. So with this, I tend to like to rock the XM4. Same setup as before as what I use with the MG82. So enough talk about that. And for the car, I run the monolithic suppressor for that sound suppression, that damage range. The SingGuard custom 27.6 inch for that damage range, bullet velocity and recoil control. Massive improvements. The tac laser for that ADS, the aim speed and aim walking steadiness, and the only con is the laser visible. Enemies at distance, they ain't gonna see it, so it's pretty much a fantastic attachment to have. The Real zoom scope, or you might want to go with just the sniper scope. It's all personal preference, but either one, because if you don't have one, iron sights. So you're going to need one or the other for this gun to rock and be a beast. And then you've got the ST Vol precision cone for that aiming stability, but it does affect your aim walking movement speed. If you don't want to be using this, I would probably go with something like Focus for that flinch resistance, which, however, for me, I like to stick with. Or you could go with something like the stipple grip tape for that faster sprint to fire speed and then aim down sight speed if you're not worried about the aiming stability. However, I like to be able to know that my reticle is moving nicely where I move it and doesn't have any idle sway. So this is pretty much my go-to loadout. If you don't want to rock the car, one thing you might want to do is rock the Swiss. And the Swiss is pretty damn good. This gun hits a little bit harder and the aiming stability is phenomenal. It literally does not move. It is so easy to use. It's a slightly not as aggressive gun, but with the updates, this gun definitely is up there. For this, I rock the sound moderator, but you pretty much will want to be rocking the Grew suppressor. I haven't unlocked it yet. The barrel wise, we go with the 24.9 combat for that bullet velocity, which gives us that greater range. The bruiser grip for that movement speed and aiming stability, and has no cons, so that's fantastic. The laser, I go with the SWAT 5mm for that ADS and the aiming stability, and the only issues I get there is laser visible and the aim walking movement speeds. So this helps massively there. And then I rock the Serpent grip for that ADS. I don't need a scope because it's automatically the iron sights. There isn't. It's a sniper. It's a sniper scope. So this is fantastic. You get that extra attachment to use. So either one or the other, the Swiss or you've got your Car 98. Whichever one that you guys prefer is your ones you want to be rocking. However, they're my top 5, and then we touched on, we might as well, whilst we're here, let's touch on the other classes that I've got. So at the moment, I rock my Ghost and I have High Alert. So depending on what my placement, if I want to be aggressive, I tend to go with High Alert or Ghost. If I go with Ghost, I tend to rock the C50. This for me now personally, because I'm a controller player, is better than the AMAX. It used to have the AMAX here, but I have the C58. For this, I have the Agency Suppressor for that sound suppression, vertical recontrol, bullet velocity, effective damage range, the Task Force Barrel, which also helps me out as well in terms of my horizontal and vertical recontrol and the bullet velocity and effective damage range, the actual 3 times, the 55 round mag, because that's the biggest one that I can get on this gun, and the Field Agent grip for that more vertical recoil control. Do you think this is a fantastic little gun? I think this definitely competes or is tipping the AMAX in general. And then I tend to rock this with the Psychoff pistols, which is the monolithic suppressor, the auto barrel, lightweight single action 80 round drop, and the VLK Prizrak attachment. And this is where I've got my Ghost. High Alert, pretty much the same. This one I mixed up with the M19 akimbo style, pretty much quite OP in terms of quite close engagements, but I rock the same C58 loadout. And then I have my Ghost, which my Ghost fully loaded, which is basically if I'm in the last circle and I've died, I'm coming back in after being in the gulag and I ain't got time to pick up anything. I want to have the most amount of ammo possible, so I tend to rock the Growl, which is a tried and tested, used to be a long time ago, one of the meta guns. I rock this with the monolithic suppressor, the Tempest 26.4 inch Archangel barrel, the tac laser, the 60 round mag, and the perk fully loaded. This is a great thing for modern warfare guns because the fully loaded means that we're jumping back in with full ammo. So fantastic. And I shove in with this the Psychoff pistols with fully loaded as well, the Prizrak rear grip, 80 round drum, the auto barrel, and the monolithic suppressor, so I can engage in those close to medium and those medium to long range and know that I've got full ammo and pretty much going to be shredding some players, one would hope. And then I have my restock, which is basically exactly the same loadouts for my fully loaded Ghost. As you can see here, all the same attachments and the same for the Psychoff thing. The only thing is I don't have Ghost, but I have restock, and I shove claymores and stuns, so I can just spam these two. If I want to hide out in an area and just close it down, I can just spam with the claymores, and I've got my stuns for those stunning those players and then jumping on them and getting those kills. This is pretty much all my loadouts. These are my top 5, the 1 to 5. Hope you guys liked it. You have to be rocking anything with the MG82. If you don't like anything I've got here, there's definitely other options out there, but definitely let me know what your likes and comments are. Make sure you subscribe. Over and out. Make sure you guys get lots of kills and wins in Warzone. Really much appreciate all the likes, everything else. You know what I'm talking about. Just get out there and have some fun.